This is Paul Golden again. It's been quite a while. I've tried changing my YouTube name to Paul Golden MD, but it doesn't seem to work. It defaults to Paul Bipolar MD Golden. And I think I'm going to just keep it that way because I think people looking up YouTube probably are going to search bipolar. And I've had a lot of views from last year and earlier this year. Last year and earlier last year about some uh, videos I've made talking about bipolar disease, major depression disease, etc. Today I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to talk just about what medications I'm on uh, for bipolar disease. I think the public is not really tuned in to what we have to take to keep ourselves from being manic or depressive. It's not one or two pills like hypertension. It's also not one pill for 2 weeks like maybe pneumonia. It's not just a dose of insulin plus one or two pills for diabetes. It's multiple pills and multiple um, combinations and various trials of pills. Uh, since I was diagnosed with depression in 1973, I was on various antidepressants. But in 1988, when I was diagnosed with bipolar 2, then it became a whole new ball of wax. Immediately, lithium was added to what I was already on at the time for depression, which was Zoloft and Klonopin, the latter for sleep and anxiety. Uh, and by the way, I think more psychiatrists should be using a benzodiazepine like Klonopin, which can be dosed once at bedtime. Um, Sorry, by the way, that I can't get my bandicam to look at me straight away, so I'm looking down. Sorry, I'm not looking down at anything particular. I'd like to look up, but that's strange. Anyway, so I believed then in 1988, as did my psychiatrist, and I still believe now that once a diagnosis of bipolar disease is made, that lithium is the first line drug combined with a low dose of antidepressant. The latter because you don't want to flip over into mania from an antidepressant. I had to stop lithium, which was a wonder drug for me, in 2012 because my kidney functions started to deteriorate. I want to make it clear that actual reduction in kidney function with lithium after a long period of time, in my case, um, almost 20 years, is not common. So don't you people who are out there who are learning about this on lithium feel that you're inevitably going to develop kidney problems. It's not the case. Anyway, I did in the form of a creatinine rising from 1.1 to 1.8. The lithium was stopped and was substituted with a new age anti-seizure medication called Lamictal. And I'm now on 400 milligrams of that a day, and I have no understanding of why the newer anti-seizure drugs work in bipolar disease. I do not believe that it's related to effects on the neurotransmitters. Anyway, I'm also on, and for my case, relatively high doses of a medication called Cymbalta, which is which is an antidepressant, and it is a antidepressant that normalizes both serotonin levels and dopamine, or excuse me, and norepinephrine receptor levels. not so much the receptor, but the levels of norepinephrine and serotonin in the brain synapses. I also am on another mood stabilizer called Topamax, which is also a newer anti-seizure medication. I'm on Klonopin at 2 milligrams at bedtime. I didn't say I'm on Topamax, 100 milligrams at bedtime. And let's see what other one the Cymbalta is 60 milligrams in the morning. In addition, I take one of the newer antipsychotics because on occasion when I get manic, I get psychotic if the mania is not caught and treated fast enough. And so I am on one of the new age, or what they call atypical antipsychotics, and I'm probably on the mildest of the ones called Geodon, and I'm on 20 milligrams in the morning and 40 milligrams at bedtime. So think about that, and think about people who don't even accept the idea that they have a mental illness, or might even not think they are sick, or just don't want to take pills, don't want to see a psychiatrist. See how many of those people are going to be non-compliant with a regimen like that. But for me, being on various different drug combinations and finally finding the right key over, what's it been now, 45 years, I have been able to function well as a nephrologist, and only have had to take time off for the first 2 depressions and once when I had my first manic episode. Now, these combinations are slightly different medications in the same classes. They're very common in schizophrenia. The atypical antipsychotics might be a bit stronger, like Seroquel, or in Vega. Let me mention that the older antipsychotics were Thorazine, Haldol, and Stelazine, and they had too many serious side effects, which are not seen often in the newer atypicals. The older anti-seizure medications really that we used was just one, basically, and was Tegretol, but it had a particularly nasty side effect of causing a serious rash. So let me just review. Cymbalta is an antidepressant. Klonopin is an anti-anxiety sleep aid in the benzodiazepine class. Topamax and Lamictal are mood stabilizers designed to decrease or increase the time between either episodes. Geodon is a atypical antipsychotic. So being very compliant with these medications and seeing my psychiatrist on a regular basis has been the key to unlocking my brain and letting some of this bipolar disease, evil humors, go out into the stratosphere. Thank you, and that's what I'll be talking about today. I'm going to get much more frequent in my posts now that I've decided to stick with the name Bipolar MD Golden. Until next time, bye.